Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell, and we're back with another episode of our Vanuatu rewatch.
Yes, episode 8, I believe.
Episode 8.
This was a fun episode with a disappointing result.
Bruce, don't we have to, earn the merge or something?
Don't get me started.
Isn't it nice, though, just to see Jeff say you are merged and that's the end of it?
Yeah. And when I say disappointing, it was gonna be disappointing either way. Like, the two people that receive votes are both awesome characters.
Yeah. But either way, let's get going into the start of the episode. And we open the episode with a bit of a bizarre scene of Julie trying to get even more attention.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of a bizarre strategy, but she's playing it so well.
She's playing it so well. What is bizarre is the fact that Sarge is now tanning his rear end on the middle of this beach.
We'll get to that later. But right now, we get back from Tribal, and Julie, without warning, without asking, just comes and sits right between Sarge's legs for warmth. And even when the fire gets blazing, doesn't move.
Yeah.
I mean, she's playing to her strengths. I really don't know what else to say here. We get a great quote from Sarge, and this leads into the scene you were talking about. He goes, "Hey, Julie's great. She's hot. She's a model. I don't hang out with very many hot 22-year-old models." Hey.
Which is true. I would assume he doesn't if he's, Sarge 40.
No, I'm sure it's true, but him saying it is still funny.
But I gotta correct Sarge, she's 23.
Oh, well.
I'm just in the cast list right now.
Sarge, wherever you are, if you're listening, you got a fact wrong 15 plus years ago. When was this? 2005, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Yeah, so 11 years, not 11, 21 years ago, you got a fact wrong, Sarge, by 1 year. And so, yeah, we see that, and then Chris is laying between Julie and Sarge on the beach. And we saw Julie kind of suntanning in a previous episode without the bikini, I think.
Yeah.
And so Sarge decides to just follow in Julie's footsteps, and Julie encourages him to do this. Rolls over on his stomach and reveals his bottom.
That's a good way to put it.
I was too busy laughing at how bizarre this was. But
this might be the most uncomfortable segment of 5 years of Tribal Council Chat.
I wrote down here, because Julie's strategy since the swap, part of it, not all of it, but a big part of it is, she's playing and using sex appeal to keep her position in the game solid, right?
Yeah.
But she's doing it to perfection.
Yes.
And, so I get why she does this type of stuff, because, she's a young 23-year-old woman on an island with a bunch of guys. She knows how to get their attention. Why the heck is Sarge doing this? What is happening here?
My guess is that Sarge might just be coming around to realize that, now he's 40, he is on a reality show, and I would assume if he got to the level that he did, his whole upbringing was probably in the military.
And they don't do this in the military.
No, but clearly not. But my point is that Sarge probably is, at least the way I would see it, just realizing that, hey, the younger people on this tribe are laughing and joking about something.
He's starting to let go.
Yeah.
But and also, who was it? Chris or someone walks up and goes, "Oh, I can never unsee this image now."
Yeah. I think it's Chad does that after Chris screams across the beach, Sarge, pull your pants up.
My only complaint here, because this scene is hilarious.
Yeah.
My complaint is not Sarge showing his butt, but I wish this had been after the scene where we merge for the purpose of imagine Rory's reaction. And the audience might be getting tired of me finding Rory so hilarious, but he's been such a funny character up to this point in the season.
Rory was one of the stars of this season.
He's not a great player.
It's really sad to see him go this week.
Yeah, he goes home this week, and it's sad, but Amy going home would have also been sad. So we were screwed either way. Y'all know me, my rooting interest. I was rooting for Rory to stay here, but was not surprised. I honestly forgot who went here, but sort of. But I can only imagine.
I forgot exactly who went here. I didn't think that it was Rory yet.
Yeah.
But I did know that it wasn't going to be Amy because Amy would not go here if she was brought back through Micronesia.
I don't know. They've brought back fairly early, Boo.
Oh, they have. I just mean, like, I remember when I watched this the first time when it was live, Amy being, like, one of the 2 or 3 stars of the season.
Yeah. Honestly, she could have gone here, and I still might have said she's a star of the season.
Yeah. Fair.
But she made it as far this season as Rob did his first season, I believe.
Yep.
They both went at the merge. Well, she didn't go at the merge, actually. Had she gone here, she would have gone as far as Rob did. She went farther than he did.
Rory went as far as Rob did.
That is quite the comparison of players, and I know you're not comparing them as players, but that's where my mind went for a second.
I'm not, but I kind of am because Rob in his first season was nothing special.
Rob was able to wrangle the craziness of Philip Shepard and take him to the end. Him and Rory would have worked together real well.
That's my point, is I'm saying Rob in his first season, though, didn't play a ton of a different game from Rory.
No.
He was keeping the tribe laughing and keeping the audience engaged and shifting his votes. And, I mean, they're not that different. Rob in his second season was when we get The Godfather.
All I'm saying is, if they ever do a Second Chances 2 ballot, I'm starting a Rory Freeman writing campaign.
That would be amazing.
I'm assuming CBS is not going to put him on a Second Chance ballot. Maybe they will. I don't have enough faith for that and them
I
for
would
that.
Doubt it, but if
I'm starting a writing campaign.
I don't see why the fans wouldn't want it.
People voted for Shane not because he was a good player, because he was a funny character.
Yeah.
There's just Rory. We're doing this season because we talked about it on an underrated seasons episode. People don't think about this season.
Rory is still only 57 years old, so
get him on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the Survivor equivalent of like when people write Mickey Mouse or Kanye on their presidential ballots and just do write-ins. But I'm going to make a campaign for it and try to get a bunch of other people to do it too.
When Johnny Bananas got 1 vote in the state of Florida.
That's not so. Was it from himself?
Yes.
Oh, of course it was. But no, let's do this. Write-in campaign, Rory Freeman for Second Chances 2.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But after Sarge... Because believe it or not, we got on the rabbit hole from Sarge, even though Rory wasn't even at that scene. That's my fault. We go to the reward challenge. And we're playing for milk and cookies and a huge chocolate cake.
Yes.
And the way the challenge works is they're all in a line, and there's this, the one at the end will run into the water and fill the bucket with water, and then toss it to the next person. Not like each of them's holding a bucket and you toss the water. You toss the bucket and the water to the next person.
For the first 4.
And then the last person throws the water to the last person who catches the water in their own bucket, I believe.
Yes.
And goes up a ladder and dumps it into a big bucket.
Which was a very important distinction because if you toss the bucket for 4, this challenge is actually over. If you had to toss the water in every single step, they would still be there today.
Yeah.
You would have been like, yay, I dropped 4 milliliters.
You know what I was thinking of watching this challenge?
What?
Heroes versus villains.
What?
The loved
Yes.
ones challenge, where that's always where my mind goes when I see people tossing water from one bucket to another. But tossing the bucket and the water is a new twist. I don't remember seeing that.
No, I think it's the only time that they did it, but I think this is the only time that they do this challenge as a tribe challenge and not an individual challenge.
But
duo challenge, but you know what I mean.
That last part of toss water from your bucket to another bucket and then they dump it into something, that's the loved ones reward challenge in Heroes versus Villains.
That's right.
We just added 3 or 4 steps before that.
That's the God damn it, Reed challenge.
Yeah. Where Colby blamed his brother because he couldn't catch water.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Reed was throwing the water right to him.
Yeah. Colby was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got to come back for 50, even if it was untimely ended due to a bad twist.
Get Reed out here on a newbie season.
That would be great.
And just, I'd love if he just didn't tell people who he was and could see if people recognized him. Rizzo probably would.
Yeah.
Like, Rizzo as a newbie would recognize Reed, but most people probably wouldn't, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would say so.
But Lopevi wins reward. And so we go back to camp. We get a really becomes a funny moment here. It starts with strategy planning, and it's Chris and Chad planning. And they said they don't have to worry because Julie's shown she's secure with them, and Twila's too stubborn to go with the women. This turns out to be a terrible and completely wrong read. But
yes. It's a terrible and wrong read, but the older men have not been reading the game very well since episode 1.
Especially after we merge and after the immunity challenge, the fact that up to tribal, the men still think these 2 women are with them,
yep,
makes me want to pull my hair out.
Absolutely.
They're not going along with anything you're saying. They're pushing back on everything and want to vote out one of the guys. They're clearly with the... We'll get to that. But they say that. They say they don't have to worry about the 2 women from New Lopevi. And keep in mind, we haven't merged yet. And this conversation happens. Chad says Sarge would be a heck of a choice to take to the end, because he would probably win against any of us.
Yep.
To which Chris responds, well, honestly, I think both of you have a leg up on me. And then looks down and realizes Chad has a prosthetic leg and, panics and goes, well, wait, I didn't mean it that way. Which I'm sure Chad already knew, but Chris, panicking for a second is so funny.
At least Chad, you could tell, took it well and knew it was an accident and laughed.
Well, you know what he means.
Yeah.
It's still so good, though.
And also, we have a giant chocolate cake at camp that nobody's eating after a very little bit because chocolate cake is effectively becoming the Survivor version of diarrhea lettuce.
Oh gosh, that is quite the reference. Didn't expect that, but that's funny.
Everybody that's eating this reward is instantly sick.
See, my mind with chocolate cake goes to Micronesia, where Eric pays Sari to lick the cake off of her hand. And James goes, there's something wrong with this boy. But that hadn't happened yet.
No, that had not happened yet.
But that's where my mind goes with Chocolate Cake and Survivor, is Eric literally saying, can I lick this off of your hand?
That was odd.
To another human that's living in disgusting conditions. I wouldn't even... I'm full, like, if something falls on the floor, 5-second rule, 10-second rule, I'll pick it up and eat it,
Yeah,
usually.
same.
If I'm living in a dirty jungle, I may not even eat off of my own hand. Certainly not that thoroughly eating off of someone else's hand.
Fair, absolutely.
But, you're starving, so I guess you take what you can get. I don't know. But that's kind of all we get, and we're back in challenge mode. We're at the immunity challenge now.
Now, I have a question to ask you before we get into the challenge.
Yeah.
Did we merge here because we actually were going to merge at this challenge? Or did we merge here because we randomly, after the reward challenge, because we couldn't play for Immunity's Idol because Rory broke it?
I'm going with what Probst has said off the show, which is like stuff like that in game design is all pre-decided.
I would imagine so. It was just funny that we merged after the reward, but at the Immunity Challenge after there was literally no more Immunity Idol because it was broken.
Of course it was him that broke it, too. I forgot about that. That slipped my mind when I was, like, writing notes here. But we have merge, and our merge buff is orange.
Our merge buff is orange.
And I kind of love this buff, and if, like, past season old buffs weren't so stupidly priced on eBay, I would try to find one. I'm not even going to look it up. I don't want to see how much it... You know what? For the sake of the show, let's do it. I have the eBay app on my phone.
I've not looked at Survivor buffs on eBay in a long time.
I don't remember which one it was, but one time a single buff was like $150, $200.
Oh, I've seen them for way more.
Oh, this isn't bad. Survivor Australian Outback Orange merge buff for $50.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
The new ones are like $25 or $30, so that's only
There's a Vanuatu merge buff on eBay right now. For this is Canadian dollars, 560, so like $480.
I'm not finding any Vanuatu ones on mine.
It might be located in Canada. Who knows?
There's a yellow one for $75. It's a bandana version, though. That is crazy. $480.
Yep.
Survivor Australian Outback Orange buff for $89.95. See this, because you know how they sold new versions of classic buffs this year? This one is interesting. It's the Season 1 green buff.
Oh, wow.
For only $46.99.
Nice.
Which is still, like, double what they sell for retail. But, Yep. But we're not a buffs podcast. That'd be a fun episode, though.
We should do an episode this off-season on, like, the 10 best buffs of all time.
Both of the starting 2 in Cambodia. Those are on my list.
Nice.
Sneak peek. But here's how our merge immunity challenge works. We race to a series of tall wooden towers in the water that we have to climb to the top of. Then we have to navigate across a balance beam and retrieve a flag and jump off the tower and race back to the beach and put our flag on this little table thing. And the first 2 players from each group, because we're doing it in 2 heats, the first 2 finishers in each heat to bring 3 flags back move on to the final round, which is the same competition.
Yep.
And so our people competing in that final round are Sarge, Rory, Amy, and Eliza. We had 1 man and 1 woman from each heat, which I thought was interesting.
We did.
And so Sarge ends up winning, which is what I thought would happen when we learned who the finalists were.
Yep.
I was rooting for Rory, of course, but that that's been the surprise of the rewatch for me so far. I did not expect to come in and like he be my favorite player of the
Yeah.
seasons up to the merge. But Sarge wins immunity, and we're going back to Lopevi Beach to find a new tribe name, which
We are.
they end up going with Alinta.
Yes, which is a name Scout came up with, which, interestingly enough, is not South Pacific but is Native American.
Interesting. And so
Scout has a lot of outdoors experience backpacking guides across rural parts of the states, so that makes sense.
yeah, that's not
She would know
surprising.
those kind of things.
And so as soon as we get back, Rory tells Sarge that about Bubba's vote out and that he got caught by Amy trying to give the guys a signal.
Yeah.
And Rory also tells Chad that as soon as he got to New Yasser, Amy told him he's gone next and the women have a union together. And the guys will get voted out.
And at this point, we just quickly realized that all the talk for the last 3 weeks was about Rory being part of Yasser and Julie being part of Lopevi is garbage.
We knew it was garbage with Rory because he literally tried to talk to Amy and Eliza and they said, you have no chance of working in here.
Yeah.
I kind of thought Julie and or Twila might click with those guys.
I think Scout blew it for Twila to be able to do that.
Interesting. I thought Julie might, though. Like, the way she was playing it up.
Yeah.
But
then it begs the question of, was Julie ever committed to the men, or is Julie an earlier version of Parvati?
I've compared her to Parvati on past episodes already.
Yeah. Which I know you do, and I agree with that 100%.
So we also, after that, we see Sarge and Chad tell Rory that the original Guys Alliance is still together and they want him back. And Sarge, who, if you remember pre-swap, Sarge and Rory could not get along ever.
Yep.
Sarge says, look, I want to work with you, Rory. I said you weren't a team player, but that's behind us. That's in the past.
Because he needs 2 votes.
Yeah. Well, he needs more votes than he thinks. He thinks 2 women are with him that we're going to learn are not. But
yeah, but I'm saying with them not being, he needs Rory's vote and he needs 1 other vote to force a tie.
Yeah. But this is cool to see Sarge and Rory kind of bearing the hatchet here, no?
Yes, it is.
And the guys seem pretty confident. They tell Rory, hey, Julie and Twila are with us. But Rory tells us in a confessional he isn't confident in that. He doesn't know Julie and Twila.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Rory's never played one day on a beach with them.
Yeah, they're the only 2 people in this game he hasn't been on a beach with yet.
That's right.
So, we come back from a commercial break, and we get a cut scene of a volcano erupting. And this isn't game related, but this is so cool.
Yeah, this was cool.
And we see like lava exploding. It's pretty cool. So
they don't call Vanuatu the Islands of Fire for nothing.
Yeah. And so we see Twila and Julie come to Chad and say, hey, we're still with you.
In a few years, I'm going to go to Vanuatu, so I'll have to post pictures of that mountain.
Nice.
My friend and I are looking at a cruise that does... It's actually would be an amazing cruise for Survivor fans. You leave from Sydney, Australia, do 2 stops in Vanuatu and 4 stops in Fiji.
Let's just rent out a boat and do a tribal council chat cruise.
That would be amazing.
And just invite all of our fans to come on the boat with us.
Yeah, we can do that one in Fiji and go drop by Jeff's house.
We can totally afford to rent out a cruise boat. But no.
People paid.
We see Twila and Julie come to Chad and say, hey, we're still with you. We're still with Lopevi, but we'd rather take Rory out first, then take Amy out, because we're afraid of Rory and challenges.
Yeah, no, it's
Right here should have been the notification, hey, they're not actually with you.
That's right. And you shouldn't. You also should know not to say that to Sarge or Chad or Chris.
Well, and they dress it up and it sounds logical, but this just shows, hey, the women's alliance is still a thing. You're screwed. They're just trying.
I wouldn't have bought this for a second.
But
and I don't know how it was presented there. I don't know if it was edited a bit of what we saw, but I don't think this makes any sense other than the fact that if you're the four guys, there's not much you can do about it.
The dumb thing is they bought it though.
Yep.
And they tried to actually argue back a little bit and negotiate, thinking they still had an alliance. And they genuinely think that not Amy, Julie and Twila will take Amy out next. Which, by the way, your argument is we're scared of Rory because he's a challenge threat. He lost in the final just like Amy did.
Mm-hmm.
He might have finished second. He might have finished ahead of her, but she made the final too.
Yep, that's right.
So then Chris tells Twila that Rory is he's ready to give their alliance numbers. And if they vote Amy out, it would break the women.
Yep.
Now, Chris wasn't there for this other conversation, so I'll give him a little bit of grace. But the way we're still completely acting like Julie and Twila are with us and not with the women when they're actively going against everyone else in this alliance's wishes to protect one of the women is nuts.
Agreed.
And then after that Chris and Twila conversation, remember the first couple episodes where Twila was getting into arguments with everyone and complaining that people weren't assimilating to her, and I said Twila doesn't know how to play the game?
Yep.
Chris says in a confessional of, hey, sometimes you have to do the strategizing for Twila.
That was good.
Accurate.
Yep.
So
Twila is really approaching Survivor from let's go out in the wilderness and work hard point of view and not necessarily playing the game.
If Twila had been on season 1 or 2, she'd be doing so much better than she is on season 9.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If we could have her in the Sue Hawk casting spot in season 1 as part of the Toggy group, that would have been fantastic.
That would have been fantastic.
And I'm not really a huge Twila fan, but I think I'm less of a Sue Hawk fan. So,
Fair.
You and I haven't really talked about Sue that much. I'm not a fan of hers.
I'm not either.
I feel bad for what happened to her on All Stars, but Borneo and All Stars, until that happens, I don't like Sue.
Same.
Sue, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
I highly doubt that she's listening to anything related to Survivor.
Probably. That's just kind of the habit I'm in for some reason. Is joking, be like, oh, if they're listening.
Yeah.
But we also see Sarge talking to Twila and say that he wants Amy away from Julie. And he tells Twila, so look how much they're together. Look how much Amy is pulling Julie over to our opponent's side and stroking her hair and all this. Which is another good argument for taking Amy out.
Yeah.
But
It's a great argument, but one that on this season is not going to work until there's 6 people.
Man, I was really excited to see what happened if Julie and Twila were with Lopevi and they pulled Rory in, but
That would have been crazy. It would have made the season very different.
this, but
Question for you: if they did, who do you think wins the season?
I don't know. Amy goes here,
Yeah,
probably Sarge.
I think Chad wins the season.
It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Because once they get rid of like the outside of their group, so they'd go Amy and then some combination of Eliza, Leanne, Scout, and then maybe Rory. Well, if Rory's,
I think they go Twila first, then Rory, then Julie.
okay. Well, there's no way either of those girls make it to the end, or they would win because the jury would be a bunch of women.
Though, would they win because the jury might feel really betrayed by them if they voted with Lopevi?
They'd get Amy's vote at least.
Yeah. There's no way they'd get like Eliza's vote.
Yeah. But this is interesting to think. It's either Sarge or Chad. I'm guessing that would be the final two.
I think so.
Man, that is fun to think about. Just how different the season could have gone.
That would be a fun series on this show for a couple weeks. Is maybe if you and I were to take like
what if scenarios?
What if scenarios, but like if one move goes differently, who becomes the final two?
I like this because you might remember this kind of years ago on my Survivor fan page I used to have on Instagram, and these are all still. I did a what if series. Like Marvel was doing their what if at the time, so I'm like,
talk about that.
I forgot about it too till just now, but now I want to go back and look at some of those.
I'm writing it in my notepad. Maybe that would be a good season to do, a good series to do, like next winter in between seasons.
Well, we probably could do a couple per episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? Look how quickly we just got through that one. We could do like 3 in one episode.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, I think even more. I think we could do like 10 of them in like 10 seasons in one episode.
Yeah.
That it would be like a 5-week thing.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But so we go to Tribal, and just I wrote this down not because it's game related, but because of facts we know outside of the game that happened back then. Is they point out to Jeff that like the paint they were given for the tribe flag got used as like face and body paint for everyone.
Yes.
And they point out to Jeff that on Julie's chest is a pink heart painted with Jeff's name on it. And he says, "Don't waste your flirting on me. I can't help you." They end up dating after this season.
For quite a while.
So it's funny to see that this all started with paint.
Yeah.
Because we know that in real life they date for like years, wasn't it?
Yeah. Let me find out.
And they're both married now, I believe, but to other people. But it's just funny to me seeing how that relation, because that
they dated for 4.5 years.
For her to do that, she must have already been crushing a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Which I hadn't know. You don't see it in the edit, so that was funny to me.
That was.
And there's not much else from the actual talk at Tribal. But sad result, my favorite character of the season so far goes home at the merge.
Yeah.
Is he on the jury?
No.
Because sometimes jury starts at merge and sometimes it starts with the next boot after the merge boot.
I think that's this case.
Dang it, we were robbed of a Rory jury question?
Yep. I'm going to confirm that to make sure, but... Yeah, no, Rory's not on the jury.
I'm gonna say we were robbed. He would have been a
I
fun
agree.
juror, I'm guessing.
He would have been a fun juror.
So I've talked about him a ton. The audience might be tired of it. Do you have any departing thoughts on Rory as we say goodbye to him this season?
Just that I really was so far at the start of the rewatch, and I really gained a new impression of him that I don't remember from the first season of how good he really was on this show.
Good
That
character.
by the first season, I mean the first time I watched this
Yeah.
20 years ago.
And by good, you mean as a character, not a player, right?
Yeah,
Because as a player, he's very shaky.
I'm gonna I'm gonna ask you this then, because we're on the topic. Besides Amy, is there really any good players on this season? This is like if we didn't have Gabon, this season could be Gabon.
We don't get them as much in the edit as we get it. Like the edit is very like heavy on a few players.
Yeah,
Chad, I feel like could be,
fair.
and Chris, we've seen like
I
three
still
confessionals of
I
all
just think
season.
like I go Rory's on this season, Chad's on this season, Eliza's on this season, Julie's on this season, Sarge is on this season. Like this is character heavy casting.
Travis Bubba could have been. He made one stupid mistake that cost him, but
Yeah,
he could. Like, if he doesn't do that, Rory goes home there.
fair.
Lisa gets herself sent home, and we get the merge here,
Yeah,
where the numbers are still the same, but maybe Bubba sticks around in a way Rory didn't.
it's true. You never know.
So, like, Amy's the only one I can confidently say is a good player, but there's a few that I can't say I'm confident they're not. Chad might be, and Chris we just haven't seen a ton of up to this point, so he may or may not be. I don't know.
Yeah, I still go back to the way that that men's alliance played the beginning of the game to say none of them are that good players.
Can you imagine if the younger men had gotten power on early Lopevi, what
Yeah,
this merge would look like?
that
If,
would be a totally different.
if we had like JP and Brady here instead of Sarge and Chad,
Yeah,
this season, this rewatch is a blast so far, man.
it
People
has
need to
been.
talk about this season more.
We have to do a couple more of these like next summer.
Yeah, we should definitely. And the double episodes have been fun, like each week. We should do that again on another off season sometime.
Yeah.
But so a line blindside first boot. Do you want to go first, or do you want me
Well,
to?
I have three, so I might as well go if you don't mind.
Okay.
I am so Rory was voted out this week. I am gonna give you, in honor of Rory's hometown and the home state of my co-host on New Generation Challenge podcast, I'm
Oh,
gonna give you three players from the state of Iowa that were
interesting.
born there. Not that necessarily put that as where they live on the cast in the season. So
Okay.
your options are fitting with the season, Rory Freeman,
Yes.
a winner of Survivor, Sarah Lucina, and from Survivor 43, let me get the last name. I don't want to pronounce this wrong. Cody Ossenmaker.
I forgot about him somehow, just for a second. I'm
You're
gonna
sad.
align with Rory because A, he's just entertaining, but
Yeah,
B, we saw it with Sarge early, we saw it on the end of New Yasser. He kind of rubs people the wrong way. I don't think he'd do great getting votes from a jury.
makes sense.
Sarah Lucina's the best player here by far. She terrifies me. She goes first, and blindsiding Cody's the only option left.
Nice. I 100% agree with you on first booting Sarah. There's no question.
Yeah.
I am gonna blindside Rory. I agree with everything you said, but I'm not sure if Rory would be the best ally to get to the end of the game. I think Cody would probably find a way to still rub people the wrong way in final. Cody would say something that he thinks is funny that everybody else is like, this is cringeworthy,
Yeah.
and therefore I could win. So I'm going to align with Cody.
Nice. 1 second. I have a theme. I'm just looking at this person to make sure they fit it. Yeah, there we go. They do fit it.
Nice.
Alright, so, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
You and I have been, you've been teaching me a lot about European and British not British, English shocker lately. Maybe the
Yeah.
same thing. I don't know.
If you count if you were to say, but it kind of is, because something you may be surprised on, teams from Wales play in the English league.
Well, I know that England and Britain and the UK are like a lot of people use them interchangeably. Those are 3 separate things.
That's right. Scotland has its own league.
And then
but a team of probably a lot of people in our audience are familiar with, called Wrexham, is in Wales, but they play in the English system.
Britain is England and Wales, right? And then the UK adds Scotland and Ireland.
Britain is England, Wales, and Scotland.
Oh.
The UK adds Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. I thought it was regular Ireland. I got it mixed up. I knew it was only one of them.
Regular Ireland is an independent country.
And is Britain part of the EU?
No.
Okay, I remember when Brexit was a thing. I wasn't sure if it ever went through or not.
Yeah, it went through.
Okay. But anyway,
I'm curious to know where you're going with this for a line blindside first boot, because
it's
went down a rabbit hole of British politics and football.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching Brexit. I was just curious. But you've been teaching me a lot, and this nice man on Facebook that makes reels, whose name I don't know, has been teaching me about English soccer as I prepare to become a fan. Our 2 favorite teams both have the same main color, so you get people that were on red tribes.
Nice.
We went down that rabbit hole because I get distracted easily, but the theme was really basic. So
that's good.
In honor of the episode, you do get Rory.
Okay.
And from Gabon, you get Jillian.
Okay.
And from my favorite season, Survivor China, the red tribe was Fei Long, has some iconic players. You're getting none of the iconic ones. You're getting Jean Robert.
Okay. I am going to...
That was mean to Jean Robert, but accurate.
I am going to align with my fellow Canadian, Jean Robert. I bet you didn't know Jean Robert has Canadian citizenship.
I didn't, but spending 39 days with him on an island sounds kind of miserable.
He was born in Montreal and moved to Las Vegas to play professional poker.
Did you win an immunity, Jean Robert? I kind of agree with Courtney. He seems unbearable.
The fact that it's spelled Jean automatically tells you that he's a Quebecois.
I was gonna say, I assumed he had some sort of French heritage.
Yeah. Also, that I'm going to, on this one, blindside Rory again.
Oh, man.
And I am going to first boot Jillian, who does not really offer anything to Tribe whatsoever, and should have been the first boot over Michelle.
But she wasn't!
And by that I mean Michelle Chase, not Michelle when I normally refer to Michelle.
I know, but Jillian outlasted someone.
She did, which is just sad. Because that one person was probably like, even though she was sick, the most physically dominant woman on the whole season of Survivor Gabon.
Well, I have multiple times in the years we've done this show referred to Gabon as a beautiful train wreck.
Yeah.
Because the strategy and gameplay is just disastrous and terrible, but it's so entertaining, character-wise. That Jillian surviving around is a perfect example of the train wreck part of Beautiful Train Wreck.
Yeah. But hey, she found some elephant crap.
I forgot about that. That's so stupid. What is Gabon? Like, imagine someone never having seen Survivor and that's the first season they watch.
Gabon is an African country.
No, like, what is that? The season of Survivor, though. It's just so bizarre.
I know.
To be fair, from what I've heard, that's kind of what happened to you and me with Big Brother last season. Is like, gameplay was bizarre and terrible that season also, apparently.
I've heard that.
But, like, I really just want to watch someone react who's never seen Survivor
Big
before.
Brother seems to be better this season now that Dee and Devins are on it.
I just want to see the reactions of someone that has never seen Survivor, and we hand them Gabon DVDs and be like, here, watch this and react.
That would be funny.
So with that in mind, Jean Robert is definitely the easiest to beat in a jury. I think if I tried to spend 39 days working with him close enough and talking with him and like trying to plan together, I would want to like bang my head against one of the palm trees.
But could you spend 26 days with him? Because that's all that's needed anymore.
I like to imagine we're playing Survivor proper.
Fair.
Either way, not just spending time with him, but like having to try to work with him would make me want to bang my head against a tree, I think. Yeah. And I don't think I think that would be most people, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I am not being very nice to him. There are much less likable players, but...
I think I would have a slight advantage to trying to align with Jean Robert because he and I could literally just sit in the shelter and strategize in the French language and nobody would know what's going on.
I'm going to align with Rory because of all the reasons you gave about Jillian. You're about as nice to Jillian as I'm being to Jean Robert. And it's all accurate, is it not?
Yeah, it's accurate.
But the thing is, Jean Robert doesn't seem like the type to vote for me very easily if I blindside him.
Very true.
So I think I'm going to first boot him, and I think if I blindside Jillian, her vote will be easier to win than his.
Makes sense.
Hey. And with that being said, check out Pit Stop Pals. Check out Roundtable Talk. New Generation Challengers will have a cast reaction for Cutthroat 2 coming out at some point. They're just calling it Cutthroat. Guys, this is the second Cutthroat. You should go watch the first one. It's great TV.
It's great TV, but it didn't have Michelle and Sydney, so I think the second one's going to be better.
But, guys, you guys should go watch Cutthroat 1. And MTV, or Paramount Plus, I guess, if you're listening, you should have branded this season Cutthroat 2. I don't care how long ago it was. You've done Cutthroat before. This is not your first one.
100%.
But I don't need to go down that rabbit hole because Paramount Plus execs are not listening to my knowledge. So,
That's right.
With that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.